lot of people are finally discovering the power of AI videos and AI content creation and monetization of that content because we're seeing more and more examples of people using VEO3 or Google Flow, for example, which we're going to be using today. So I'm going to show you step by step how I created this video, each scene, each prompt, the logic behind it. And then finally, I'm also going to show you how to improve it beyond just the normal AI video inside of CapCut, because I want to actually get you a trending video. I want to actually show you how to do this in a way that will work. And then finally, a lot of people say that this tool is too expensive, but I want to show you how you can generate these videos that are very high quality but very affordable to create. And they already have the sound effects, they already have the dialogue. You can do any sort of characters or animals or anything you can imagine. Let's go ahead and dive into this by starting out with what this video looks like, and then I'm going to go and show you how I generated these scenes. Then I'm going to show you how I put the final video together to create some of these effects so you can have even better storytelling, way more likely to get attention, and it's way easier for you to actually monetize your content because it's higher quality than what everyone else is doing. All right, let's go ahead and start at the beginning of this video. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll go back and show the creation process.
Everyone, say hello to my miracle friend Cheez-Its. Found her as a kitten eating out of one of those snack bags.
Woo! I tried to avoid making this video, but public service announcement, the forest isn't your dumpster. Woo! Oh, you got it. You got it, you little rascal.
Okay, not good, guys. I ran out of meow mix, and I think all the cats I adopted are trying to eat me. But I'm just a prompt. Subscribe for more AI videos, free prompts, and strategies on how to monetize your content.
All right, so this one was a lot of fun to create. One thing I have to say is if you haven't done this yet, it's a ton of fun. It's almost like being a movie director. It takes like 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes to actually generate these videos. So it's a ton of fun if you haven't done it yet. And I'm going to show you today how we can generate each of these 8-second scenes with only 20 credits per generation. And if you're someone that loves writing stories, or you have a vivid imagination, or you've just always wanted to kind of create funny clips and funny movies, this is going to be an amazing way for you. Please just try it. Just see what it's like for you, because it is a lot of fun, and you may find that you fall in love with the process. This is Google Flow, and this is what we're going to be using to generate our AI videos. So if you want to follow along and generate videos as well, you do need a Google account. It can be an existing account or a new one. And you will also need, at minimum, the Google AI Pro subscription. Now, it's really awesome that if you are a student, you should be able to get Google AI Pro for free until, finals 2026 is what it looks like. So if you are a student, definitely take advantage of that. Also, if you haven't had this before, if you haven't had Google AI Pro, they are giving it 1 month at no charge. Just want to let you guys know about your options, because a lot of people are saying that you need to have $125 or $250 a month. That is not true. You can get the Google AI Pro version. You will have access to Google VEO3. You will also have access to Google Flow. Now, you're not going to have as much access as the Google AI Ultra, but you're still going to have plenty of credits to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to show you how that works as well. So over here in Flow, we can just navigate to the project that we actually want to work on, or click on New Project to create a brand new project. All of these prompts are going to be available for you for free inside of that Google Doc. So don't worry about trying to type out these prompts yourself. Just go copy and paste them from that Google Doc. And before we can actually create videos, we're going to need a story. And I'm going to show you 3 ways to easily and quickly get stories. Number 1 is the easiest, and it's going to be to use an existing story. So for example, if you have a childhood story like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, or AI Bible stories, you've probably seen these trending, and it's because these are existing stories that everybody already knows. Now, I'm not talking about going out and infringing on a trademark like Disney. I'm talking about stories that are basically like untrademarked. These like tall tales and wise tales and myths and legends, dragons, Vikings, historical figures. If there is a story that already exists that you can tell, there's a good chance that that's going to do well. Now, under that same line of logic, if there is a Bigfoot vlog story, you know, the world according to AI is absolutely blowing up with these Bigfoot vlog videos, and we could kind of find these stories that are working for them and then reuse those stories, maybe retell them in our own unique way. But if we find that, you know, for example, Bigfoot with the clay baked fish has 41,000 views in 5 days, we might decide to go ahead and do something where Bigfoot is making fried fish, or Bigfoot is out actually fishing with a net, whatever. But you get the idea how, you know, if this is a concept that worked for another channel and this story kind of worked, maybe we could do something similar. Maybe we turn him into a chef and he's got like a knife out there and he's chopping up the fish. Maybe he's you know, some sort of like food critic, like he's really critical about his own food and he's like, nah, it doesn't taste good enough. You get the idea. You can get inspiration from other people's stories and then have your own like renditions of those stories retold in your videos. Option number 2, which is also pretty simple and pretty easy, is to use ChatGPT. So I'm going to give you this prompt, but basically it just asks ChatGPT to make the prompts for us, and it's a storyboard of prompts. So this is going to be like multiple prompts with first this happens, then this happens, then this happens, finally this happens. Now, you'll find that this is probably 80 or 90% of the way there, but you're gonna have to modify it and change it to make it usable for yourself probably. Like you're probably gonna have to change it just a little bit to make it make more sense to the story. But you'll see right here that ChatGPT is doing most of the heavy lifting and writing the prompt for us. And by the way, I am going to actually give you these prompts. So if you just simply copy these prompts and paste them into ChatGPT and say, this is the format, now generate a scene with the Loch Ness Monster or with an alien or with, Einstein, then it will use that format, but then ChatGPT will rewrite it with your scene. So check that out, try that out if you haven't already. And so ChatGPT can write your story and help you get prompts. And finally, the third way, and this is not the exhausted list of ways to get stories, because there are so many other ways to actually get stories, but finally, you can also just write your own stories. So if you have a skit in your mind, or if you have an idea in your mind of what you want to create, you could simply write the story yourself. And if you do decide to write your own prompts, what I've found is that if you include something like a close-up cinematic selfie shot, that is going to be the influencer style shot where the subject is holding the camera as if they're using the selfie mode to film themselves. You have to tell Google Flow where the camera is. Is it a drone shot, like panning from the right? Is it a tripod with a camera sitting on the tripod? Is it a GoPro hooked up to their hat so it's first person point of view? You have to tell where the camera is in your prompt and what type of shot it is, and even what type of lens is being used. So if we say that a fisheye lens is being used, you'll notice right here that we have a fisheye effect. In your prompts, just make sure that you're specifying exactly what you want to happen. Another thing to include is maybe lighting, what time of day it is, what type of lighting it is. And so those are the 3 main ways that you can get your prompts and actually write your story. So for example, I'm inside of ChatGPT and I'm asking it to create a storyboard and all of the prompts for each scene for a Veo 3 AI video where the story is the 3 little pigs. So this is going to give us a great output that is customized specifically to be for the story of the 3 little pigs, you know, where the wolf tries to like knock down their houses and each house is made out of different things. This is perfect for Flow because we want to generate each scene individually. It's about 8 seconds worth of generation as of right now. Eventually we might be able to generate longer scenes, but right now the goal is to do one scene at a time and then piece them together inside of CapCut. Here is the actual storyboard for this. and then it gives us the prompt for each actual scene. So let's start with the first scene. I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to go over to our flow tool. Now we can paste that prompt into flow, and I'm inside of a new project. So when you sign in, it's just going to ask you if you want to use an existing or a new project. Hit new, paste in that prompt into the box that says text the video right here, paste it in. And now you do probably want to go through this and actually make sure that it's what you want it to be. So if this is the first scene to the Three Little Pigs story, then it would make sense that we would have a cinematic shot. It's revealing a warm cottage kitchen where a mother pig wearing an apron is saying goodbye to her three little piglets. So this makes sense. This is what we want, but you would want to read through this and double check. Is there anything I want to change? Is there anything any props that I want to add in? Is there a different camera angle I would rather have? And also, as you generate videos, you're going to figure out really quickly what you need to change in your prompts. So don't it's not about perfectionism and making it the perfect prompt. Just get it most of the way there, make sure everything looks good. Then you're going to go up to settings right here. Click on settings, and you should see the option to change your number of outputs and also your model. Now your video model needs to be changed to Veo 3 Fast. This is going to be the version that gets you 20 credits per video. So if you do 2 videos, 2 outputs, you're going to be spending 40 credits total, 20 credits per video. Now, if you want the best quality, the highest quality possible right now, then you would need to go over to this model right here that says Veo 3 quality. But notice how the price jumps up to 100 credits per generation. So if we ran this prompt, we would be spending 200 credits on these 2 outputs. So I'm going to switch it over to fast. This allows us to make a lot more videos. They're still high quality, and it's going to cost us a lot less. So I'm doing 2 generations. It's going to generate both of these videos side by side. And let's see what we get back. Even though I didn't change this prompt in any way, let's go ahead and see what we get back in the first video. All right, now both of our videos are done being created and generated. I actually liked this one over here a little bit better than the first one. So here's what it looks like.
Remember, my darlings, build wisely and look out for each other.
So it is really easy to actually preview your clips right here to see what they look like. And then one thing you'll notice is that we actually have 4 pigs that come into frame. Now, this was actually something that we could either work with it and basically just say it's close enough, or we could regenerate this scene until we get to the point where there's only 3 pigs. Just to show you this other generation.
Remember, my darlings, build wisely and look out for each other. Remember.
Now, one thing is that we are using the fast version. So if you use the highest quality version, you would get a much better output on both of these clips. But let's say that this is the first scene and we like how it looks and we're going to keep building off of this scene. What you're going to want to do is click on the Add to Scene button. Click on Add to Scene. And now you're going to be brought into this new user interface where you're actually able to extend or jump to from this clip. So extending, it really honestly sounds amazing, but right now it's pretty glitchy. Like if I try and extend this out, it doesn't really work as of today, but I'm assuming that they're going to fix this pretty quickly. So jump to is basically just going to let you pick up off of the last frame. So this was the final frame of the original video. Now we can say, we could put in our second prompt and we can hit generate, and it should keep the scene pretty seamless. But because our scenes are actually in different locations, we don't want to do a jump to, because then that would still be inside of the house and that wouldn't really make sense for where the story is going. So we actually want to remove the first frame entirely, remove jump to, and we actually just want to paste in the second scene prompt. So go copy the second scene, then when you're happy with how this looks, double check that we're on Veo 3 Fast. See how it says Veo 2? This would give us a video without audio and without dialogue, and it would not be the same quality. It would be Probably a little bit cursed. Like it would look a little bit funny. But if you switch it back over to VEO3 fast and then hit send, we can go ahead and generate the second scene for this story. So in scene 1, the mother pig is saying goodbye to the pigs. In scene 2, I believe we're going to have a pig number 1 twirling around in the meadow with a GoPro style selfie shot. He's going to be happy, carefree, have a straw hat. And as I'm going along this process, I'm just copying and pasting each scene. So this scene right here is where the big bad wolf actually walks towards the straw hut, stops in front of it, has a little one-liner about, you know, little pig, let me in. Then he blows the house down. So I'm just giving each scene in chronological order to flow, and I'm generating each of these scenes. So as you can see here, we got back the generations where they're building the straw hut, but notice how cursed this is, and notice how this is not what we wanted at all. We started here, and then my first round of generations actually fell short of what we needed, because this is what came back.
Welcome to my eco-friendly micro cottage, built in 1 hour, baby.
Now, there's obviously an issue with this. We know that, 1, he's not a pig, and 2, he's not young enough to match the characters in the original. It's also just not cartoon style. It needs to be cartoon style, not realistic. So if you wanted to, you could simply hit the reuse prompt button like I did, and then I changed that prompt to include it saying a young pig, and I changed a few other details in here, so that whenever I actually regenerated this, all I had to do was slightly change the prompt. Like I would say, this is going to be a young pig. I can remove that part. I'm going to say, instead of a GoPro style selfie, I'm just going to remove GoPro, and I'm going to say dynamic style arm's length selfie shot. And then just to clarify, I'm also going to say the style is cartoon. That way it knows not to make it super realistic. Then you can hit send. And so what happens is I modified the prompt. This is what I modified it to. And we got back way better videos this time. So here's what this looks like now.
Welcome to my eco-friendly micro cottage, built in 1 hour, baby. Welcome to my...
I mean, it's pretty crazy. You can even hear the flies in the background. You can hear the grass as it's being thrown. Those little ambient sound effects, those are all things that Flow has either decided to put in there, or it is an explicit thing that we asked for. So right here where it says audio, we have buzzing bees, we have a distant windmill creaking, and we could obviously add in some other sound effects if we wanted those to be there. Some of them will just show up automatically based off of what the person is doing in your actual video. If they're walking on sticks, then it's probably going to have some sound effects of them actually walking on top of those sticks.
Welcome to my eco-friendly micro cottage, built in 1 hour, baby.
They're both really good, but I think the second one is my preferred version. And so before we go any farther, I should mention that you can put music behind these scenes right here in your prompt. So if you wanted to have music, you would simply have audio. You might do something like ambient audio. And the ambient audio is like stuff happening in the background. Then you might have music, and you might say upbeat, happy music. Now right now it's upbeat and happy, but as soon as the big bad wolf comes along, there might be dramatic, moody music to try and emphasize that something bad is happening, right? But that's how you can add in music, and it will generate all of it in the clip all together. Okay, here's our video generation from the big bad wolf. So let's see what this looks like.
Little pig, let me in, or watch me huff your house to dust.
Interesting. Not terrible. It could be worse. Let's look at the other one here.
Little pig, let me in, or watch me huff your house to dust.
Now it's not perfect, and you may want to regenerate this. So what you would do is hit that reuse prompt, and then go ahead and see like what in this video, what in this prompt can we actually improve to get a better video. So instead of the low angle steady cam shot, I'm going to change this to be a cinematic selfie style shot. The other thing I'm going to change is what the wolf is actually wearing. So I actually don't like all of the different things here under appearance. I'm just going to say sly grin, raised fur, and then I'm going to say cartoon style. Actually, let's put cartoon style up here. Put a period and then say cartoon style. Now you can see here that, you know, there's still like a props. It says aviator shades that he flicks off dramatically. I'm going to get rid of that. And the rest of this looks good to me. Let's go ahead and hit send and see what comes back with this generation. So you get the idea. You're going to do scene by scene, and sometimes it's not going to turn out the way that you want it to. And you're going to have to basically regenerate the videos and change the prompts slightly to get the output that you're looking for. Now, finally, once you have all of your video clips from your entire story, you just need to put them all together in something free like CapCut. So I'm going to click upload and I'm going to drag in all of my Bigfoot scenes because this is everything that I needed for that video. But what you'll notice is that some of these generations that I have and some of the generations that you get are going to have like text and captions on them, so they're not really that usable, except I'm going to show you how you can actually still use these even with the text and captions. So the first scene of this video is this clip right here. So I'm just going to drag scene number 1 onto the timeline, and now this is going to be our first clip. So let's watch it.
Everyone say hello to my miracle friend Cheez-Its. Found her as a kitten eating out of one of those snack bags.
Okay, it's not bad, but what if we had a fade in effect? So if I click animation and I do fade in,
Everyone say
then it kind of makes it look a little bit more cinematic.
Everyone say hello.
So the next scene is actually a flashback. He's reminiscing on whenever he found this cat. And so what we need to do is put in the flashback clips next. And that would be this one right here is the next clip. So all I have to do is drag it from here down to the timeline to put it down here. And what we're going to do is actually create like a dream effect to where it looks like he's going into like a flashback. So if we do animation and then we do out and then we choose smoke, now it looks like he's kind of like going into like a flashback.
One of those snack bags.
And let's actually clip this and make it a bit shorter. To do that, all we need to do is grab this end right here. Like, see how there's a white boundary and this little black bar pops up whenever I'm hovering on top? I can just drag this over to shorten the clip up. Okay, that looks good, but now we're running into the issue where this clip has captions on it and they don't make any sense at all. Like, these captions don't make sense. But watch what happens, how later in the clip, the captions actually disappear. That's perfect. So the first half of this video is actually not usable. So the first half of this video with the caption, we're actually just going to delete it because we only need the second half. To do that, I can just grab the bar on the left side of this clip and drag it over, and that will delete the first part of that clip. And now it should look something a little bit more like this.
Woo!
So it looks good so far. We got rid of the captions, but what would we want it to look like if this was a flashback? Well, we'd probably want to first add an animation that has maybe something that kind of like blurs into focus. Then we might do something like desaturate the color a little bit. So if we go to adjust and then we take the saturation down a bit, that kind of makes it look like it's an older video from the past, right? Kind of makes it look like a flashback. So if you're a professional editor, you're probably going to be able to create something incredible. I'm just doing some basic stuff here, and it's also optional. Not everyone is going to need to do this for their video. Now, I also need to put some text on here too to kind of maybe clarify that this is an old recording of Bigfoot. So we're going to go up to text, add text, and then we're going to do something like April 22nd. Let's do 2020 because this is a flashback. So April 22nd, 2020. We can put it up in the corner. Pick from one of these presets. I like this one right here. Then I'm going to lower the transparency on this just a little bit. So right here where it says opacity, I'm going to lower the opacity just a little bit. Then I'm going to copy this text and paste it one more time. And now I have a copy of that text. underneath, I'm just going to say Bigfoot Forest Vlog. This is going to be April 22nd, 2020. Now we know exactly what's happening in this clip. So you can see how we can do the post-process editing and make this even better than the AI video itself. We can add context. We can add in any sort of captions that help add to the story. So let's go ahead and animate both of these. We'll do a fade in and a fade out.
Making this.
And then let's adjust the text on the timeline to where it lines up with that new clip. Right whenever that clip starts, the text pops up. And then I'm just going to adjust the length on these as well. And let's see what this looks like.
Those snack bags.
Woo! I tried to avoid making this video, but...
Great start. Everything's looking good. Let's add in the third clip, the third scene. And it's going to be this one right here. And so what I did is I noticed that these scenes could actually be combined right next to each other, because it says, in this clip, he says public service announcement.
Woo! I tried to avoid making this video, but...
Oh, sorry. In this clip, he says, I tried to avoid making this video. Then we're going to come over into this clip and we're going to do the part where he says public service announcement, the forest isn't your dumpster. So let's find that part in the video.
I tried to avoid making this video, but... Woo.
So right here, the captions disappear again. And I don't need the first half of this video where he says I tried to avoid making this. I can just delete this part right here, make some small adjustments. Okay, let's go ahead and start it from the beginning.
Everyone say hello to my miracle friend Cheez-Its. Found her as a kitten, eating out of one of those snack bags.
Woo! I tried to avoid making this video, but...
Public service announcement, the forest isn't your dumpster.
Nice. Looks really good, except we forgot to change the saturation on this clip to match. And we also need the text to extend all the way to the end of this clip. So think of this like a timeline from 0 seconds to 15 seconds to 30 seconds. It keeps going, but think of this as a timeline, and that will help you when editing and piecing these things together. So what we need to do is go back on this clip and actually lower the saturation on it. And then now it's going to look like this.
Woo! I tried to avoid making this video, but...
Public service announcement, the forest isn't your dumpster. Woo! Everyone say...
Amazing, guys. So we started out with basically clips that we couldn't really use because they had text all over the screen, just a bunch of gibberish. And then we turned it into an actual clip that we can use. We got rid of the part that had the captions. We just used half of the video, maybe 4 seconds of it, and we were able to use that. All right, the next clip is going to be one where he's sitting there chilling with the cat. So we're going to put this one in here. And here's what this looks like. The volume on this one is kind of blown out. Like it sounds kind of rough. So I'm going to lower the volume. It's also a little bit long. Like there's not anything happening in this clip. So I'm going to shorten this clip significantly. Once again, I might take out the first half and then only use the second half.
Dumpster.
Woo! All right, so this is looking good. And now in the next scene, Bigfoot starts to adopt even more cats. So we're going to put in this scene right here where he's laughing with this cat. And then there's also this scene where he's laughing with the cat as well. So we're going to put that one in there.
Joyous laughter.
All right, so that obviously doesn't work. We don't want Bigfoot saying joyous laughter. That was an error generated from VEO3, and we're going to remove that part, but we can still use the first half of this where he's just laughing. See, now it makes sense. Now here's the second clip, the next one that we uploaded after that.
Oh, you got it. You got it, you little rascal.
Okay, so again, it makes sense. Everything's flowing. Now, what we might want to do is put in the next scene, which is Bigfoot running away from the herd of cats because he's adopted too many of them and now he doesn't have enough cat food for them.
Rascal. Okay, not good, guys. I ran out of meow mix, and I think all the cats I adopted are trying to eat me.
really good generation overall. Like, honestly, it looks really good. But I would say that there's a lot of kind of like buildup where there's nothing really being said, that we could pull some of that out. So let's remove like maybe 1 or 2 seconds. Delete first couple seconds in the beginning. Now let's see what it looks like.
You little rascal.
Okay, not good, guys. I ran out of Meow Mix, and I think all the cats I adopted are trying to eat me.
So that's almost too clipped up. I almost want to bring back some of it. So I'm going to once again click on the left edge and drag it out a bit more. And that will give me a bit more of that running animation back.
Rascal.
Okay, not good, guys. I ran out of Meow Mix, and I think all the cats I adopted are trying to eat me.
Looks great. And then finally, what I would recommend is to have a call to action at the end of this video. Obviously, your story might end differently. It might end with Bigfoot around a campfire and he's eating, you know, a roasted 4-legged animal. And he's like, you know, I'd like to see 100 cats versus one Bigfoot and see which one wins, or something like that. Like, your final clip needs to also be something that's actually going to get people to follow you. You know what I mean? You would probably want to say something like, be sure to follow for more AI videos or strategies on how to make these videos. You probably want some sort of call to action that's going to get them to actually want to follow you. So the final clip that I have included, and that's right here. I'm going to drag it onto the screen.
But I'm just a prompt. Subscribe for more AI videos, free prompts, and strategies on how to monetize your content.
Okay, so it looks really good. It sounds really good. But then we've got these random captions on here. So what I'm going to do is click on the video, and I'm going to go over to video, and then I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to zoom in, scale it up, maybe do like 130%. Then I'm going to move it down. Okay, I don't even need to do 130. Let's do like 120. And just move that video down to where you can't see the captions anymore. And now your clip will basically be still usable, not quite as crisp and high quality, but at least you don't have the captions showing up. To be fair, I've seen people just leave the captions on there and completely ignore them, and those videos still seem to do really well. They still seem to trend. Another thing we could do is have half of this video at the full scale, at 100% scale, and then we could zoom in as soon as those captions show up. So let me show you what that looks like.
But I'm just a prompt. Subscribe for more AI videos, free prompts, and strategies on how...
Okay, so the text shows up like right here. So what we're gonna do is go right before that, click on the video clip, hit Command B. That's gonna split the clip. If you don't have a MacBook, you can switch over to the split tool and then click on where you want to split. And then you're going to click on this clip right here that has the captions, and then you're going to go ahead and zoom in to like 120% and move it down. And this is what that would look like.
But I'm just a prompt. Subscribe for more AI videos, free prompts, and strategies on how to monetize your content.
So it has a jump cut where it jumps into the footage a little bit. It's not quite as disruptive as the first option. And the final thing we can do to wrap it all up is add an out animation, do like a fade out or do like a glitch outro.
Monetize your content.
And that way you've got something that kind of like ends the content and then transitions back into the beginning of it. So I would do a fade out at the end, do a fade in at the beginning, and it'll all be seamless. And that is our video. So let's go ahead and play it start to finish, make sure everything looks good and that we're happy with it. Then we can export it.
Everyone say hello to my miracle friend Cheez-Its. Found her as a kitten, eating out of one of those snack bags.
Woo! I tried to avoid making this video, but public service announcement, the forest isn't your dumpster.
Woo!
Oh, you got it. You got it, you little rascal.
Okay, not good, guys. I ran out of Meow Mix, and I think all the cats I adopted are trying to eat me. But I'm just a prompt. Subscribe for more AI videos, free prompts, and strategies on how to monetize your content.
All right, that ended up being 47 seconds long. Obviously, we could keep adding more clips to this, or we could have shorter clips. I've seen people just do 8 seconds and they post that to TikTok, they post that to YouTube, and that also gets some attention. But I prefer this method here where we actually do some storytelling. I'm going to keep you updated on the latest strategies, the performance of these videos and how they're actually out in social media. And otherwise, if you guys want to keep up with everything that I'm doing and my journey and everything, there's a free Facebook group that you guys can join, and you'll find a bunch of other like-minded people who are diving into AI and making money online and print on demand and stuff like that. Just let me know what you need help with and what you want to see, and I would love to help out. I do offer one-on-one Zoom coaching calls where I can actually go into, your business and look at your screen and actually be able to guide you through some different ideas and strategies on how to improve your business or how to just even get started. I hope this was valuable for you, and as always, create something awesome today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.